Hey, our distinguished guests, ladies and welcome everyone to CPHI Southeast Asia in 2023. And today is the third day or last day of our event. And we have many interesting topics by our famous person. He is the Professor Pierre, the president of World Packaging Organization or WPO. And everyone, if you are hearing my voice now, so I would like to invite you all to come here and join us for this special event together. The last day we have many topics such as the daily update about the pharmaceuticals packaging, or anyone if you want to know more details about the pharmaceutical industries packaging. And today we have the specialist about this packaging to offer you all and give you for the advice. Anyone, if you have any question, you can ask our professor as well for this event. Over here, we are right here at the innovation stage, hall number 3. Everyone, if you are the pharmacist, nurse, or doctors, or anyone, if you want to know more about the packaging for your business, your industries. And today we have the experts about the packaging of the world to come here and inform you for the daily updates about the packaging for your industries. And of course, we have the topics at the second session. That is the sum of the latest trends in pharma packaging by our speakers. Yes, of course, and today we have Q&A session for the last session of morning's event. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for have a seat and listen to our speakers as soon. As we are about to begin, please have a seat, everyone. Please come to join us together the last day, and please grab it, these opportunities to listen to our person, our famous person from Australia, and he is the famous person about the packaging of the world. Everyone know, right? The World Packaging Organization, and we also have many awards to our customers or our partners. All right, if you want to know more any details about this morning's topic, daily update about the packaging for the pharmaceutical industry. So please have a seat, sir. Come on, everyone. All right, and we will start our seminar. It's about a few minutes. All right, and I shake our professor first that he is ready to update any information about packaging to all. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, everyone, you all. And last 2 days, we have a lot of topics that's so interesting. And if you want to watch the video before, you can go to the Facebook page in from my guest or the CPHI Southeast Asia, and we have the recording video that everyone can watch later, and also at YouTube channel in from my guest, everyone can watch the video as well for the topics that our speaker told before for last 2 days. Okay, everyone, before we are going to start our seminar today for the last day, this amazing event and a beautiful day. A very good morning. How are you today? Good, right? Okay, thank you for coming here again to our wonderful event right here. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, first of all, before we talk about the daily updates by our Professor Pierre, the president of WPO, let's know more about his biography. Professor Pierre, after joining a large pharmaceutical company, Pierre became concerned about a number of packaging-related issues in the pharmaceutical world, and he has extensive experience in the pharmaceutical and food and beverage packaging industry for more over 35 years of experience in the field of packaging science, and he's so expert about this one. Everyone can come here to listen to him about the topic today. And also, he is the current national Education Director, past National President of the AIP, and past Vice President of the World Packaging Organization, or WPO, that everyone know. Responsible for the global packaging education and his extensive experience in packaging science. He holds a professorship in packaging engineering in 2022, recipient of International Packaging Hall of Fame, and is the current president of the World Packaging Organization, WPO. Okay, now today. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we are excited to see him. All right. Are you excited? Yes, me too. Okay, so please join me to welcome our Professor Pierre, the President of World Packaging Organization, or WPO. A round of applause. ขอเสียงปรบมือด้วยค่ะ
Thank you very much. Thanks. You're back, Sudeep. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. Nice to have a few people here. I'm sure there'll be others that will join us once we get going. But early in the morning and the traffic's heavy, so I understand. No problem. So the first part of the presentation is just looking at some of... No. This isn't the one we need. We need the other one. We're looking for this one. All right, we just get the right slideshow up. It's just a couple more. What the daily update is that I give you what I have picked up in the last few days worldwide. Is there anything out there that's come up in the news or in any country, all right? And then I just share that with you. So it only takes about 5-10 minutes. But it's to ensure that each of you are brought up to date with what's happening outside while you're in here and you're not watching the news. That's what it is. So there we go. Right. So let's have a look what there is to show you. All right. So one of the things that I picked up is in social media marketing. Now all of you are sort of aware about this thing. Some are more aware than others. And there's a definitive move towards social media marketing across the world, in every country. That is the future. So if you in any way still, thinking that hard copy pamphlets and so on are working, I'm afraid to say that that's not really true. So we've got to be online because that's where the mass population is getting their information from. So that's just a reminder of where you need to be looking at if you're trying to promote your product. Another thing is that what we're finding is subtle branding. So the less is better. Less information is better because bottom line is generally the public don't read. They want images rather than words. And I agree with that in some way. You know, when I'm listening, if I'm sitting in that audience and someone throws up a slide and it's just words, I have to say, I switch off. And you want to bring me back with some pictures. So I fully understand this one. And we saw it during COVID, in fact. We saw it during COVID in the e-commerce industry. There was a lot of it happening in e-commerce, and those brown boxes were just simple brown boxes with very little promotion on it. And as you can see here, very little is on there, even there. I mean, that's coffee, and there's not much on there, all right? So, and this is going to become more, we'll see this trend into some of the pharmaceuticals, not many, because pharmaceuticals, there's information that has to appear on there. But what we will see is that on the over-the-counter, OTC, over-the-counter, there we will find more of this subtle branding happening, okay? And again, I'll try and give the source of where my information is coming from every time, right? So it's not me. This is what I'm seeing in the last a couple of days. What we've noticed, this one was launched about, probably around about 18 months ago, all right? A little bit of marketing last year on it, but they're really pushing it hard now in the blister industry. just showing that we don't always need a foil base or a foil lidding, whichever way around you see it. So that lidding does not have to be foil, which creates a lot of problems when we're trying to recycle. So this is PET on PET. Pop the tablets out, and that goes straight into the recycling bin for PET, which makes a massive difference, and it is so easy and makes recycling so much more basic in terms of most countries are recycling PET. So it makes good sense. And PET barriers are pretty good. Will this work for every pharmaceutical? No. Not going to work for every pharmaceutical, but there's a fair amount that it would work for, and it would save an enormous amount of blisters going into landfill. All right, I can tell you very recent information. In addition to this, there's a company now in Brazil, I saw it 10 days ago, where they are delaminating the foil from the blister, so from your PVC or PVDC. So they've got a system whereby they separate that, and then it can go into foil recycling and your whatever the material you're using. In most cases of pharmaceutical is PVDC. Anyone need more information on that, just get hold of me afterwards, and I'll tell you more about that particular one. This one, I'm encouraged when I see this. Because what this is, we're using organic composition, so paper. And blisters moving into a paper type of paper-based material. Clearly it's got some other lacquers on there that are creating the oxygen barrier or the water vapor barrier. It won't work for every product again, but there is certainly some products that could go into this, which again then creates more running down the line of recycling. Folks, I cannot emphasize more that we need to be recycling more across the world. Currently, I don't know how many of you know this, only 9% of plastics are recycled globally. That is a shocking result, I have to tell you. And actually embarrassing when I stand up here and give you that result. And I speak on behalf of the global industry. So it is, we really have to turn it around in the next 12 months and do some serious work across the world. All right? We're seeing a few more of these sort of applications. Voltaren and Gel came out with it they were the first ones to come out with this. It just makes it easier for the application by the patient. Thought I'd share that with you. And it certainly does. I've used it, and it works quite well. Okay. This one here, what I'm showing you here is, these are the top trends in packaging, not specifically pharmaceutical. Top trends in packaging. And as you can see here, 32% is internet-based, which is my very first slide. Remember? Digital media marketing. So it's internet-based. And then biodegradability. And I want to emphasize that. You can see where the reference is. But I want to emphasize this while I have the audience. That word there, biodegradable, means nothing. And I have to emphasize that, because more and more people are using that word, and it doesn't describe anything. So it's a meaningless word in our industry to use it. So if any of you are using it, please come and talk to me. It's not the word we should be using, because it's not describing anything. When is it going to biodegrade? This year, next year, 10 years' time, 100 years' time, 500 years' time? So we certainly from the World Packaging Organization are rather pushing the word compostable, because then we know it's compostable, but it's then, and of course giving credit to the reference of your system of compostability. Is it commercially compostable or an in-home compostable? All right? And then you can see the others just get smaller and smaller. Digital printing, packaging automation, active packaging. Yep, lots in active packaging. For those of you who were here yesterday, you'd have heard all about active packaging. And there's a lot happening in that space. Edible, recycling, printing, and nanotechnology. This one I can see changing over in the months and the years to come. It's been around for a long time, 20 years, more, 30 years. But in packaging, we're going to be seeing more nanotechnology coming into packaging. And I can say this because I've visited a number of research laboratories focusing on the nanotechnology side of things in the packaging sector. All right. Right, now these are certainly not pharmaceutical, I understand that, but this is my prediction. This one, both these are coming out of Brazil at the moment, and what we're finding on this one, so this is a laundry, so they provide the laundry soap and all those sort of things, but they're now, or selling the soap, that's the company L'Oreal. But what they're doing now is they're providing the service. Same one over here. We know Omo. Omo's around the entire world. But what Omo is doing in Brazil is that they're now offering the service of cleaning your clothes or whatever you want to clean. They provide the service. And I think we're going to see that more and more moving into the pharmaceutical sector, where they might be selling the product now, but they're actually going to serve the service connected to that product. So let's watch the space in that one. All right, and I think I'll finish off on this one from memory, simply because we know we're talking about sustainability and recycling. How many people are actually getting serious about it? Coca-Cola are. Because if you read this, it says, don't buy Coca-Cola if you don't help us recycle. So if you're not going to recycle this bottle that you're buying of Coca-Cola, do not buy our product. Now that is putting your money where your mouth is. All right, and fantastic to see it like this being displayed in certain parts of the world. All right, that's it for now. All right, let me put the next one on. Are there any questions, any comments?
Anyone? Do you have any question about the delay update or about the branding of the package? Yes, no? Everyone understands, yes.
All right, let me go straight into the next one.
Okay, sir. All right, everyone, let's go to the next topic, some of the latest trends in pharma packaging by our Professor Pierre. Okay, the speakers from WPO, and he is the president of the World Packaging Organization. All right, ladies and gentlemen, anyone? Okay, if you want to join us for this topic together, this is the last topic. And for the next session, we will let everyone to ask our speakers, our experts about the packaging, especially for this event related in the pharmaceutical industries. So everyone, you can ask us, don't hesitate, please let us know. All right, and for the next topic, okay, welcome back everyone once again to join us for the last topic of this event at here, Innovation Stage. Okay, let's talk about some of the latest trends in pharma packaging by our Professor Pierre, the President of WPO. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause to welcome our President. ขอเสียงปรบมือต้อนรับอีกครั้งหนึ่งค่ะ
Okay, so now I'm going to focus on the pharmaceutical sector in particular and just share with you what we are finding that's trending around the world, which differs slightly to what the last one was, which is literally what I'm seeing on a daily basis. Okay, so again, what I've done is in my travels around the world in the last 3 months, I've looked at the industry to see what is trending the most. That is what I'm finding in my analysis of, and I've been on all the continents in the last 10 weeks. So this is fairly up to date. Just quickly, the accessibility for patients is a bit of an issue because, and that's why it's being pushed at the moment. Patients are not always able to get into the product, the ones that need to get into the product. And I'll give you an example. Someone with arthritis cannot cannot pop the blisters, for example. and how are we making that easier for them. So it's that sort of problem, and that's becoming more of an issue more recently, based on the fact that 20% of the global population has a disability. Are we making the packaging to suit that 20% as well? That's the question there. All right, sustainability, as you can see, is right up there at the moment, and it will continue to be there for the next few years, I can assure you. Then from a production perspective, yes, the production manufacturing side of things, they make in theirs an easier operation, a more effective operation, a more efficient operation, and obviously bringing the cost down. Child-resistant packaging, I don't have to tell you anything there, and tamper-evident packaging, these sort of go hand in hand often, and then the tracking systems. And one of the reasons for that tracking system, one of the main reasons in the pharmaceutical sector, is because of the counterfeit that is happening around the world, which is an enormous amount at the moment. They don't actually know that exact figure of how much pharmaceuticals are not the real thing, and that are counterfeit. Their prediction is around the 10% mark, and that varies from developing countries to developed countries, but on average 10%. So that's a large amount if you realize and know what the size of the pharmaceutical industry is around the world, which is massive. All right, so I'm going to run through some of these in this presentation. Clearly that is not a pharma product, but we have a similar problem in the pharma product. So I'm just emphasizing that when you are producing a product geared for a particular sector of the market, is that market being able to access it? That's the issue, right? Certainly Voltar, and I showed you the example earlier on, they've come up with a better solution for application for, again, for the elderly. It helps enormously there. This one here is a clever idea in that this extra tab is put on there for the ones with arthritis, and we're not seeing enough of that yet in terms of access, and you all know what I'm referring to. Even us who don't have a problem with arthritis, you know yourself, you cannot always open that or grab that tab easily. In fact, I had that problem with the butter this morning in the hotel, exactly that problem. The products coming out with these easy tearing systems, if you compare that to, say, last year, a year ago, there are a lot of systems out there where that tearing doesn't happen easily, or it tears very badly and very skew. The twist of a closure, adding these wings onto it. So some companies are doing that, and then these they laser cutting them pre-laser cutting, so it makes it so much easier to tear. This has gone one step better even, and I saw now recently in Europe, coming out of the UK, in fact, if I remember correctly, in potato crisps. So, think of a potato crisp that is the similar type of thing, only a different shape. A bag of crisps, and you're obviously eating them, and then you know that at the end of eating all the crisps, you've got these fine pieces lying in the bottom, and sometimes it's the nicest part because that's where all the flavour sits, and we don't want to waste that, so we stick our finger in there or whatever it is. What they've done now is they've pre-perforated a section at the bottom of the bag. In other words, right at the bottom there, they've got this type of thing, pre-lasered cut at the bottom. You tear that off, and then you pop the whole thing in your mouth like that. I think it's brilliant. I love it. Very good. Especially if you like potato crisps, and I do, so it makes it a lot easier. All right. Again, some simple things, it's not always rocket science, but I know because I went up to wear glasses for near vision, and often I don't see the tab until I put my glasses on. I can't find the tab. And sometimes all it is just inkjet printed or do something that indicates exactly where that tear really is. That's what we're saying over there. Okay, again, all of these are just different tearing systems, making it, focusing on the opening aspect of it, and we all can identify with this area where it's not as clear as it should be. All right, here's some more in terms of this induction seal. And I was explaining induction sealing, I think, on Wednesday, and the principles behind it, and how important it is that you can, in fact, grab that tab, that top piece. Some don't always have that tab to pull on, so you're trying to pull the tab off on this side over here, and it's not always so easy, and eventually you stick a pair of scissors in there or a knife in there, and the arthritis people tell me that they dislike this induction sealing system immensely because of exactly that problem. If everyone had this on there, it would make their life so much easier. All right, again, just showing you some opening systems. It's all right, it might be easy opening that system, and then you've got a problem with this one, with someone with arthritis. Okay, this one I really like. This is a new one, really new, where what they've done is, because some patients take only a half a tablet, and they're using a knife to cut it, not everyone has that little gadget that cuts. So what they've done in this one, in the blister formation, they've created it in such a way that you bend the blister and it breaks the tablet. And there you've got, which I think is really good. And I saw this one now recently on my travel. It's really great. I like that idea. Okay, and then another one on the paper board side, just making the access a little bit easier. Okay, I did show you this one in the presentation before. Just for those that have joined us, this is PET, and they're really pushing this very hard at the moment. But I also added there that there's a company that have now launched the way of separating the foil from the blister as well. Okay, this is again another one for where they made it somewhat easy when you're trying to access a particular paper bag or paper bag technology. Accessing or getting it open in quite an easy way. Bags can be a bit of trouble, and you always have to go and find a pair of scissors, and you don't always have a pair of scissors near you. And once you start tearing a bag, it runs all over the place, depending on the grain of the grain direction of the fibers. So it's nice having a tab to make it so much more easier. Right, then we're also finding more compostable, and there you can see that word there is coming through now, which is what we want to see. 100% compostable materials, which is good. Obviously not for every aspect. These ones actually run quite well. Depending on the material that they're using, you can actually tear it from where the dip is in this format, and it actually tears quite nice and easily, which is quite a help if you cannot laser print it. So that's just ensuring that if any of you are looking at going down a particular avenue of easy opening, it gives you some ideas and reminds you of what's out there on the marketplace. All right, this crowd was the first ones to ever come up with this idea. This is Locked for Kids, a company called EcoBliss in the Netherlands came up with the first idea of it. You can see how it works. Your thumb on this finger, your index finger there, plus then your fingers over here. So a child cannot open this because they don't have the dexterity aspect of all those things happening at the same time. And they've done those trials, and it works exceptionally well. I have to say, I don't know if any of you have seen this, but you cannot access it. And I've actually tried this with my granddaughter. She's 3 years old, and she couldn't access it. And even after I showed her how to do it, which is the test procedure, she still couldn't do it. And then in an audio way, I told her how to do it, and she still couldn't do it. So I can vouch for that system working exceptionally well. What they've done here on these tabs, they've made that first part an easy opening on the blister, so there's no seal on that area, just so you can grab it if you can't pop it. Sometimes it's not easy to pop, as we know, and you can imagine someone with very weak fingers as they get old, it's very difficult for them. And remember, a lot of the elderly are on their own. They don't always have a carer to help them when they have to take their tablet, for example, and it becomes very difficult for them. We don't realize that until we see it, or we're with our grandparents or something like that, and we realize the difficulty that they have in accessing products. And I'll just put this slide in the bottom here, just to remind us